Hello, CSEC scholars. Good night, good morning, whichever, and welcome to another live CSEC class. So it's our Midnight Oil series, and we're going to be doing 60 multiple choice questions. 60 multiple choice questions. All right, so that should take us down to about 2 a.m. And before we dive into that, I'm going to just run by you the schedule of our live classes. We have 6 live CSEC classes per week, and here's the schedule. Hello, CSEC math students. I know you are busy preparing for your math test, and your CSEC is coming up. I have a very important question to ask. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you done a math problem wrong simply because of making a mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the time in CSEC math. To look at common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in that you can avoid making those mistakes. So, did you know that most times students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid. All right, so we're going to go right into our 60 multiple choice questions. As of now, I don't have anyone in studio with me as yet, but I'm hoping some of my scholars will be dropping by as they usually do. So until then, it's going to be me solo and you out there in the universe. Wherever you are watching right now, I want you to know that I appreciate your company. Welcome, and I hope you have your paper and your pen or pencil ready to work out these problems. So right now I'm going to share my screen, and good night, DK. Welcome. Is it night or morning? Good morning. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So there we have our screen up and running. All right. So it's CSEC Math Multiple Choice or Paper 1. And this series we call our Midnight Oil series for obvious reasons. So let's look at our first question. All right, so we have -3, well, bracket -3 squared, and we're adding bracket -2 squared. So -3 squared, that's -3 times -3, which is a +9. And -2 squared, when you square a negative number, it gives you a positive number. So that's +4. 9 plus 4, that's going to give 13. And that is C. So for number 1, the answer is C. Number 2, so we have 11.1 divided by 0.01. When we're dividing by a decimal, so this is the divisor, this is the number we're dividing by. We need to clear that decimal point. I will move 1, 2 places, so this becomes 1. We need to do the same thing with the dividends. Move 2 places to the right, and that's going to become 1, 1, 1, 0. So moving 2 places to the right, we had to add a 0 here because that's 1 place to the end of the number, and we have to add 1 more 0. So it's 1110 divided by 1, which is 1110. To divide by 1 gives you the same number. The number 3076 written in standard form. So when we're writing in standard form, we want only 1 digit to the left of the number. So we would have 3, that's our 1 digit. So 3, let me make sure my plugged in so we don't have any interruption there. All right, so 3.076. All right, so 3.076. So now we ask ourselves, we have to write it as times 10 to the power of something. So what would we need to multiply? How many places would we need to move to the right to get it to the original number? So we would have had to move 1, 2, 3 places. So it would be times 10 to the positive 3. And that is A. So 3.07 times 10 to the positive 3. So when we're writing in standard form, so remember we need the number written as 1 digit behind the decimal point, and then we times 10 to a power, and the power would be how many places would you have to move to the left or right to get the number back to the original number before you put in the decimal point. So if you have to move back to the right to get to the original, then your power is going to be positive. And if you had to move back to the left, the power would be negative. Moving on, if $560 is shared in the ratio 2 to 3 to 9, the difference between the largest and the smallest share. All right, so the difference between the largest and smallest share. In the ratio, the difference is 9 minus 2, which is 7. So 9 minus 2. So that difference represents 7. And The total ratio is 2 plus 3 plus 9, which is 14. All right, so 2 plus 3 plus 9. That gives us 14. So that would be 7 over 14 times the 560. So 7, remember the difference is 7 over the 14. 7 over 14 is a half. So half of 560, that would be 280. So that's C. So this cancels to a half. And 2 into the 560 would be 280. So they wanted us to express the difference between the largest and the smallest. We could have worked it separately and then subtracted. So you could have worked out the smallest being the 2 over 14 times the 560. And that would have given, so you could have said 2 over 14, so 1/7 times 560, which would be 80. And the 9 over 14 times 560, so the 9 over 14 times 560, and that would have been, work it out separately, right? So 14 into itself goes 1, 14 into, that's 40. So 9 times 40, that's 360. Oh my, I need to learn how to use this pen. 360, and the 2 over 14 times the 560. Wow. So 2 times 40, that's 80. So 360 minus 8 give us the 280. So that's two different ways we could work it. You can either subtract the ratio first and then put that over the 14 times 560, or work out the 2 over 14 times 560, the 9 over 14 times 560, and then subtract. All right, so either way we would answer. All right, so let's continue. Okay. Number 5. In a school, the ratio of the number of pupils to the number of teachers is 20 to 1. So 20 pupils to 1 teacher. If the number of pupils is 840, how many teachers are there? So we just need to divide then the 840 by 20. And that's going to give us 42. So the ratio of 20 to 1, 840 divided by 20, that's 42. And answer is B. Number 6, there are 40 students in a class. girls make up 60% of the class, and 25% of the girls wear glasses. So, how many girls wear glasses? Okay, so we have Drayshawn backstage. So let's just invite him up. Good morning,
Hi,
Drayshawn.
morning, miss.
Good morning and welcome. All right, so I got started and we're at number 5. Okay, so let's continue. So it's 40, we're at number 6. Girls make up 60% of the class. So 60% of the class of 40 students. So that 0 cancels that one, that 0 cancels that one. So that's 24 students. So there are 24 girls, and it says that 25% of the girls wear glasses. Now we know that 25% is a quarter, or we could just set out 25% of the girl number, 24 girls. So 25% of 24, or a quarter of 24. We know 25% gives a quarter. And 4 into 24, that's 6. So 6 wear glasses, and that is A. Or Drayshawn, read number 7, please.
Okay, miss. Number 7. A student used a rod to measure the distances 3.6 meters, 5.4 meters, and 7.2 meters. What was the greatest length of the rod if if it fitted each distance an exact number of times? The
All right,
student
so the
used
student is using the rod to measure these distances. So they want to know the greatest length of the rod that could fit each of those exactly. So,
uh
in other words, they're asking for the highest common factor.
yes, miss. HCF.
So, in this case, the highest common factor of 3.6, 5.4, and 7.2 would be, I believe that would be 1.8. 1.8 can go into each of these. The 0.9 can go, but
Oh
it's not
yes,
the
miss.
highest factor, right? So it's a
Wow.
1.8.
Yes, miss.
Right. Number 8, 301 can be written as, so we can break that up into 300 plus 1, which will be 3 times 10 to the power of 3. 10 to the, sorry, 3 times 10 to the power of 2. 10 to the power of 2 is 100. So 301 is 3 times 100 plus 1. 3 times 10 to the power of 2 plus 1. All right, number 9 wants negative bracket a half to the power of 3. So if the negative was inside the bracket, then it would be negative a half times negative a half times negative a half. It's outside, so we're going to raise the half to the power of 3 first. So that's a half times a half times a half, and we're going to make that answer negative.
Miss negative 8. Miss
Negative
negative
1
1 over
over
8.
8. Correct. And that's
Miss I
A,
got that.
right. Coincidentally, Coincidentally though, it would have given you the same thing if it was on the inside, because negative a half times negative a half would give a positive a half, and then multiplying that by a negative a half again. Sorry, positive a quarter times negative a half again. So this is just a coincidence. It happens with the half raised, the negative number raised to an odd power. All right, Dresha, number 10.
Okay, number 10. By the distributive law, 49 times 15 plus 3 times
17.
14. Oh, 17. 49 times 17 plus 3 times 49. My sense is the distributive law. This we
Mm-hmm.
have to, this we have to, let's do them like step by step. Unless we'd
Speak
multiply
up.
them. Unless we'd what? Unless we'd multiply 49 times 17 first, which is 7.
No, we're not actually multiplying them. We're showing it is a distributive law, but we're showing that. So you notice the 49 is being repeated here, right? So it's the
Oh,
49 times 17
14
and
plus
49
3.
times 3. So we're to add the 17 and 3 and keep the 49.
Oh, this would be D.
49 plus 20. So we're showing that we can distribute the 49 over the 17 and the 3. So we add the 17 and the 3. So the answer is D, 49 times 20. Number 11. Go ahead.
Number 11. If P is equal to ABC, then the number of subsets of P is.
All
So
right.
Miss
So how do we work out the number of subsets?
The formula is um n Miss n2
N squared?
n yeah, that's Miss n squared.
No.
No, Miss n
That's not.
no Miss it's wait Miss it's Miss n to the number of things, or Miss 2
2
to
to the
the
power of
2
n.
to n. Yeah, yes Miss 2 to
2 to
n.
the power of n, where n is the number of elements in the set. So the
Okay.
number of possible subsets is 2 to the power of n, and n represents the number of elements in the set. So how many possible subsets would
So
that
Miss
set have?
so Miss the answer be 8.
Okay,
So Miss 2
because what?
is 2 to the power of
So it
3,
has
which is
three
then 3.
elements, A, B, and
3
C. It
elements.
has three elements, right? So 2 to the power of 3, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8.
8.
All right, now we have a Venn diagram for item 12, and we have set P and set Q. They intersect in the middle, and the two circles above represent set P and set Q. If set P represent factors of 6 and set Q represent factors of 4, then the shaded region would be what? So we're asking, what are the factors of 6 that are also factors of 4? So what would be the answer for that?
The 2. Oh. So Miss the answer would be Miss they're asking for, so Miss since P is the factor of 6 and Q is the factor of 4, Miss they're asking which factors Miss they share in common.
All right, so let's list out the factors of 6. All the numbers that can go into 6. So we have 1,
1,
2,
2, 3,
3,
and 6.
and
The
6.
6 itself.
And Q is factors of 4. So all the
And this
numbers that
will
can divide
be
exactly into 4 will be 1,
the 1, 2,
2,
and
and
4.
4.
And
So the
4.
factors that are common to both of them would be the 1
1 and 2.
and 2.
Yes, miss.
1 and 2 are common factors, so that is B. 1
B.
and 2 are common factors of 4 and 6. Item 13 refers to the Venn diagram below. In the Venn diagram above, the shaded area represents what?
Wow.
The area that's
Uh,
shaded. So everything
some,
out here and there, what would that represent?
miss, that means, what? Miss, the shaded region. Miss, would it mean that the P and Q, that's,
But P is not shaded.
oh,
So
yes,
the part of Q that's not in P, that's shaded. And then the rest of the universal set is shaded. So everything outside of P is shaded. So that means it will be P complement.
the complement.
Remember, the complement is
That's
what's not
nothing P.
in, right? So the complement of
Nothing
P
P.
is what's not in P. So that will be A. The shaded region represents P complement. Wherever you see that little stroke at the top here, that means complement, what's not in. So they shade everything that's not in P. So it's P complement. And number 14, in which one of the following Venn diagrams is the region A intersect B complement shaded? So
Miss,
A
would it
intersect
be,
B complement means A only.
yes, miss. Miss, would it be C?
That is correct. So C is A only, not the section of A that intersect with B, just the
Yes,
part of
miss.
A just here. So we call that A intersect B complement, the part of A that's not intersecting with B. So this is, so C is the correct answer for this one. Read number 15, please, Jason.
Okay, miss. Number 15. Tom bought a pen for $60 and sold it to gain 20% of the cost price. How much money did he gain?
So they
$60.
want to know just the profit, right?
Yes, miss.
So it's a 20% profit he
Oh,
gained. So we just need to find,
20%
we
of
just need to
the
find 20%
yes, miss.
of the 60. So 20 over 100
Which is 12,
times
ah,
60.
60.
And that gives what?
It's $12.
Hold on. My times look like a plus.
Yes, miss.
So it should be times. All right, so we can cancel zeros when we're working with zeros. So what we're left with is 2 times 6, which is 12. So because they only wanted to know how much money did he gain, they didn't say how much money did he pay for the pen. Which would have been, if they wanted to know how much money he paid for the pen, it would have been the profit plus the $60, which is 72. And you notice the 72 is there, right? The 72 is there, waiting.
Yes, miss.
Yeah. But we have to read carefully and notice they want how much did he gain. So they just want us to tell them the profit. So
Yes.
for questions like this, we have to be careful. They could have said, how much did he pay for how much did he sell the pen for? In that case, it would have been 72. But this case, since they just want the profit, the answer is A, 12.
Yes, miss.
So let's go to the next question. Question 16. Read for me, please.
Number 16. An article costs $161. If a profit of 13% is to be made, the if a profit of 13% is to be made, the selling price in dollars is.
All right. So if you're going to make a profit of 13%, which one of those would represent the price that you're selling the article for?
So cash price in dollars. So miss, would it be if again I can't zoom
Mhm.
things, but
So each
miss I
of
can't.
these is saying plus 11 over 100. These. And this one is
Miss,
saying plus 13 over 100.
uh
30, each of them is saying plus 13 over
13.
100. So
Oh, thought I was seeing the wrong
13%.
thing.
Yeah. 13 over 100 for these. So you're selling it back. If you're making a profit, so the profit must be, if it's a profit of 13%, it would be the cost of the thing plus
Plus
13% of the thing.
13% is miss.
Yeah, so it would be A then,
Miss A. It's
because
at first
here
I
we
thought it
have,
was an 11.
yeah, the 161 times 1, which would be the full cost of it, plus the 161 times 13%, 13% of the 161. So this is the whole and 13% of the whole. Okay? And that's a
Yes,
profit.
miss.
Read number 17.
Number 17. Mr. Duncan bought a table at a discount of 30%, that thus saving $42. What was the mark price of the table?
So when he
Mm,
sells it for $42, he is already making the discount of 30% has already been calculated, right? In the $42. So would the marked price have been more or less than the $42?
oh yes, miss, it would be more since
It
he
would
got
have
it
been
on a
more,
discount.
right?
Yes, miss.
Right. So he got a discount. Oh, so the $42, I'm reading it wrong.
Ooh,
The $42 is the discount.
yes, miss.
Yes, I was reading it wrong a while ago. Okay. So he bought a table at a discount of 30%, thus saving $42. So in other words, we want to find then $42 is 30% of what, right? We can put it like that.
Yes, miss.
$42 is equal to 30% of what number? Because the $42 is discount. Why my multiplications always looking like plus?
Hmm. Ah,
30% of what would give 42? So to get n, we're going to cross multiply.
let's
So
multiply.
42 times 100 over 30. All right, and that's gonna give what?
42 times
Okay, so we can
100
cancel
is
that, right?
2,000.
3 into 42 goes 14, and times 10.
Um,
So n is
this is it,
$100,
$140.
right? So
Yes.
the original money was 140, and he found 30% of it, which is $42. That's how much he saved. That's how much was subtracted from it. So if they had asked how much did he pay, then we would take the $42 from the 140. And that would have given us the $98, right? Which is here waiting. You understand? So be careful. Read your questions carefully. Read number 18, please, sir.
Okay. How does it keep it so delayed? Number 18. A television set costs $350. $350 cash. When bought on hire purchase, a deposit of $35 is made, followed by
Is required.
12
Is
is
required.
required. I see. Is required, followed by 12 monthly payments of $30. How much is saved by paying cash?
All right. So let's work out the higher purchase price. If we're buying it on higher purchase, we have to pay down $35, and we pay $30 per month. So $30 per month
30 times 12
times 12 months.
is 12 months.
So 30, that's what? 360?
360. I got this.
360 plus the down payment of $35. So we had to pay that down first.
$395.
All right. So the 360 plus 35, that's 395. Is the higher purchase price. And cash price was what?
It's 350
Was the
dollars.
350, right? 350.
Let's see.
So how much would we have saved by paying cash? So that is the 395
Subtracted from
minus
minus 350.
350. So
This
that's
should
gonna
be
give what?
45. Miss D, 45.
$45. Correct. So we would have saved D $45. Or number 19, a company employs 12 gardeners at $26 per day and 8 clerks at $17 per day. What is the mean or average daily wage in dollars of the 20 employees? So the gardeners get a different rate than the clerks. $26 per day for the gardeners, $17 per day for the clerks. What's the average? How are we going to approach this?
So miss the mean. This one you're finding the mean. You should add up this all of the values, the numbers, and just divide by how much is there.
Mm-hmm.
So miss,
So what are we going to add here?
give me the daily wage, 20 employees. So miss, it's $26. It's 26. Oh, what? Hmm. I mean daily wage in dollars, 20
So
employees.
because it's two different sets of workers and different rates, we're going to have to expand each set first. So is it 12 times the 26? Um, 12 60s 72, and 12 2s 24, plus 7. Is that 31?
It says it 300. Yes, miss. I got 312.
And then 17 times 8. So
17,
8 76.
66.
And 8 ones 8 and 5. 13. So we'll add
Miss, I
these
got
up.
6.
How much you got?
Miss 136.
36. All right, right. Add them up now with the 312.
Oh.
So we'd have 8, 4. So 448.
It's 448.
That's the total. And now we need to divide by 20 to get the average. So it's 4, 4, 8 over 20. So 244, that goes 2 times, remainder 4, and 20 into 48 again, 2 times, remainder 4, and 20 into the 400 will give 40. So that's 22.40.
Yes, miss.
So we're given, so normally it's been one set of persons, one set of rates or whatever. We would just go straight and divide by the 20. But it was broken up. The gardeners get a different rate than the clerks. So we had to find the total cost for the gardeners, find the total cost for the clerks, add them together, and then divide by the 20. Can you read number 20, please?
Okay, miss. Number 20. If $7,000 is borrowed at the rate of 5% per annum for 3 years, the simple interest is.
All right, so how we work simple interest.
It's the formula of
So
simple
interest
interest.
is
The principal
principal
times the rate times the
times the
rate times the time
time over
divided by
100.
100. Yes, miss.
All right, so the principal here is the amount that is borrowed. So that's 7,000. The rate is 5%, which would represent the 100 down here, the 5%. And the time is 3 years. Time is in years, so 3 years. So over 100, because as this that was the percent. So we can cancel zeros. 70 times 5, that would be 350. Times 3 would be 1,050.
Yes, miss.
So that would be the interest. So that's D, 1,050. All right, number 21. A man's taxable income is found to be $15,200. That's the amount of his income that's going to be taxed. He pays tax at a rate of 25%. The amount of income tax he pays is, now we should know that 25% is a quarter. So we could just go and find a quarter of 15,200, just divide it by 4. If we didn't know that, then we would put the 25 over 100 times 15,200.
Yes, miss.
All right, so we cancel our zeros, and it is 25 times 152. 25 times 2, that's 50. 25 times 5, 125 plus 5, 130. 25 times 1 is 25 plus 13 is 38. So that's 3,800. But you should know that 25% is a quarter. That's something we should all know by now. So if you want to find 25% of something, just divide it by 4. And we would have gotten this number. 15,200. 4 into 15, 3 times. And 4 into 32, 8 times. And the 0, 0. All right. So item 22 refers to toothpaste, which is sold in 4 different tubes. Which amount is the best buy? So let me expand it. Amount is the best buy. So we have 100 milliliter at 149, so roughly 150. 150 milliliter at 222. $2.25, sorry. The 200 milliliter at $2.50, and the 250 milliliter at $3.49. All right, so how we're going to work out the best buy? The best buy would be the most milliliter per cent, right? How would we work that out?
So is from 100 milliliters. It keeps going up by 50
Mm-hmm.
milliliters, and it's from the first one. It went up by um.
We can round it off from 150 to
Uh,
225, so roughly 75 cents was added, if that's what you're doing.
less than 75 cents. So it
Mm-hmm.
goes up by 75 cents in the first one. Missed the second, and the third one it went up by 25 cents. Uh, and then Miss it went up by 99 cents. Uh, so Miss
Mm-hmm.
since they keep spending 25, Miss first they spend 75 cents, and Miss in the second one they spent Miss 25 cents, and Miss the last one they only spent 99 cents. Oh, so Miss
They're
the
only
second,
spending 99 cents,
but no, it's in the last one they spent 99 cents.
99
And
cents more than the first.
mm,
So we should probably work out though the the unit cost, right? So the
yes,
149, the 149 divided by 100. The $1.49 divided by 100. So that would be 0.0149. And the $2.25 at for the 150 milliliter, that's 0.015 per milliliter. So in other words, what we're working is how many milliliters per cent. And the $2.50 at 200 milliliters, that would be 0.0125, and the $3.49 at 250, 0.0139. So which of those would be the cheaper rate per milliliter? So we have 0.149, 0.15, 0.125, and 0.139. So it seemed like the 0.125, which is the 200 milliliter, that one is the cheaper one. So they're all 0.1, so we have to compare the third digit. So we have a 4, a 5, a 2, and a 3. So it will be the 200 milliliter at 250. And that would be C. All right, so now for number 23, we're going to expand. We're going to expand using the distributive law, right? So we have 2x minus 3 times x. All right, so how are we going to expand that?
Next one. How should I work it? Let's see right about the 2x, and then when it's the first number close to the
So we have
bracket.
2x. So it's not
the first number.
affected by the bracket. Okay.
When it's the first number that's in front of the bracket, you should multiply it by what's in the bracket. So this would be negative
So
3
negative 3 times x.
Then it would be minus
And
3x. Then Miss you do is the negative 3 times 8. It's minus
negative 3 times
24.
8. Okay.
Minus 24. This should be B. This 2x minus
So
3x.
2x minus 3x is negative x.
Negative x.
And then we'll have
24.
All right, so that's
This should be
B. All right, so here now, again, we need to expand. So we have 5x plus y minus x minus y. So expanding the brackets, 5 times x, 5 times 5y, positive 5y. Negative is negative 3x. And negative y is positive 3y.
Yes.
So 5x, 3x is 2x. And 5y, 3y is a positive
8y.
8y.
This would be C.
So that would be
It's 2x plus 8y.
all right. So for all A and B, 3A, 3A bracket A plus 2B minus 2a plus 2a minus 3b.
That's true.
All right, so 3a times a
This is
is
3a
3a
squared.
squared. 3a times
This
2b
is
is
6ab.
6ab. Negative b times a is negative 2ab.
That's
And
true.
negative b times 3b is positive
Positive
3
3b
squared.
squared.
So we
That's
have
true.
3a squared. And in the middle, we have 6ab minus 2ab. So that's a positive 4ab. And we have a positive b squared.
Yes, miss.
B, that's b.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
All right. Number 26, if a asterisk b equal b over a minus 1, then 7 asterisk 28. So where a is, we're going to put 7, and where b is, we're going to put 28. So that would be 28
It's divided by
7
28 over 7.
minus 1,
It
right?
should be. Yes, miss.
So that's 4 minus 1 is
Miss
3.
3.
And here we have algebraic fractions. So we're to simplify 4x over 7y plus 3x over 5y. So walk me through what am I to do, Dreshan?
So, miss, it's just like if you were doing regular fraction, regular fractions. It's just with variables. Oh, they have the same denominator. So, miss, have the same denominator. Miss, you can just write back the same. Wait, they don't.
They don't have
Ah,
they don't have the
this
same
is seeing
denominator.
stuff. This is I'm seeing stuff. So, Miss, you'd find Mr. LCM. It's of 7y and 5y. This which
Okay,
is
which is what?
it's 35. It's 35y.
35y.
Wow. Miss 7y missing to 35y. This would be 5 times times 4x times
Mhm.
5.
4x times 5 is
This which is 20x.
all right. So 20x, and then
And then miss 5 into 35y. Miss 5y into
5y into
35y.
35y.
Yes, miss goes 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 times 3x, which is 21x.
All right. So we have x is at the top. We can combine, right?
Yes, miss.
So 20x plus 21x,
Which is 41x.
41x, and that goes over the 35y.
Yes.
All right. So which one is that?
So miss,
41x.
this would be a.
That would be a. All right. Number 28, 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of y.
Wow. So miss, laws, miss, this is relating to the laws of indices.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, the law says this when you're multiplying, you should add the powers. So
If the
miss,
base
it
is
would,
the same.
if the base is the same. So miss 3 times 3 is 9. And then miss would be x plus y. This should be 9 to the power of x plus y, which is c.
Mm-mm.
Ah,
We're not to multiply the bases. If the bases are the same, we're to add the powers and keep the
yes,
base.
miss.
So
Yeah.
it would be 3, 3 is 9 to the x plus y. It will be 3 to the x plus
Oh,
y. We keep the base.
ah,
We just write back the base as 3 and add the powers.
oh.
All right. So number 29 is an equation that they want us to solve for A. We have 20A minus 16 is equal to 12 times
Ah,
3 minus A. So we're going to expand. So we have back our 20A minus 16,
miss,
right? 12 times 3 is 36.
miss,
And
miss
12
2
times
times
negative A is negative 12A.
negative 12a.
So now we're going to group our like terms. So we're going to have 20A on the left
Miss
plus
is carrying
12A
over the
because
12a.
we're adding 12A to both sides.
Miss.
And we're going to also add 16 to both sides to get rid of the 16 on the left.
Negative
So it's going
16
to be
to the
36
right.
plus 16.
Which
So what
is
over here is
52.
2A,
This equals
and over
52.
here we'll have what? 52,
36 plus. Ah, wait. Yes, miss
52,
52.
right?
Yes, miss.
So A would be 52 over 32, which if we reduce, divide by
1
2,
and
we'll get what?
this 1 and like 5 and
Well, they don't have it. If we divide by 4, we'd get 13 over
like,
8. So that would be
oh,
B.
oh yes, miss. This will be B.
And number 30, if x is an integer which satisfies the inequalities, um, x minus 2 is greater than 4, x minus 2 is less than 8, then the smallest possible value. So we'd work it separately. So 4 is less than x minus 2. So 4 plus 2 is less than x. So that's 6. X must be greater than 6. And on the other side, we have x minus 2 is less than 8. So x must be less than. What? Where's my. X must be less than
Ah,
8 plus 2, which is 10. So x must be greater than 6 and less than 10.
yes,
And they
miss.
want smallest value, right? So that will be the 6.
Ah,
Must be greater than 6. No, it wouldn't be 6. It will be 7.
mm,
If x should be greater than 6, then the smallest value would be 7. Do you follow?
oh, oh,
If
yes,
it has to
miss.
be greater than 6.
That's
All
what
right,
I have
read
to be
number
thinking.
31, please.
Number 31. The sum of two numbers x and y is 18 and the difference is 14. Which pair of equations below describes the above statement?
So when you add x and y, you get 18.
18.
And when you subtract 8 and y, you get 14. So which set of equations tell us that?
Um, x and y is equal to 13, make 18. So I said be C.
Correct. C. So C says x plus y equal 18, x minus y equal 14. So their sum is 18 and their difference is
It's
14.
14. Uh,
All right, number 32, read for me.
Number 32. The distance around the edge of a circular pond is 88 meters. The radius in meters is
So this is the circular pond. They want the radius. The distance around the pond is 88. That's the circumference. And the circumference is, the radius is circumference divided by 2 pi. So that would be d. The radius is the circumference divided by 2
yes,
pi. So remember, circumference
D.
is pi times the diameter. 2 times pi times the radius, right? So to get the radius, then we divide the circumference by 2 pi. Item 33 refers to the circle below which centers O and circumference 20 centimeters. The length of the minor arc AB in centimeters would be what? How would we find the
Mm.
length of the minor arc if the
So
circumference is 20 centimeters? So the minor arc would be here, this distance here, along the curve edge of the, so right there, that's the arc. So the arc represents a fraction of circumference, right?
yes,
And
yes.
that fraction would be the angle over the full 360. So in other words, the arc is equal to this angle over 360 times the circumference. And the angle here is 60 degrees. So it will be the 60 over 360 times the circumference. So that's B. Do you follow?
Yes, miss.
Okay, 34. Read for me, please.
34. The length of a rectangle is doubled. What number must the width of multiplied in order that the area remains the same? Mm, Did I read that wrong?
If you double the length, what would you need to multiply the width by for the area to remain the same?
Oh, it's 2.
You need to multiply the width by 2.
Right.
So you're saying if you double the length and double the
Wait,
width, the area would remain the same?
wait, 1, 4. Hmm. Then
So remember, length
what
times
else
width
if
give
you have?
area.
Just you'd
If you
have to
want the
have to.
area to remain the same, right, you'd have to half the width. Right, so Imani has decided to grace us with her presence.
Uh,
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning and welcome, Imani. All right, now let us continue. So you understand, right? So whatever, if you want the area to remain the same, if you do something to the length, you have to do the opposite to the width, the inverse, for it to balance out. So if you double the length, you have to half the width. If you half the length, you have to double the width for it to remain the same area. All right, so here we have a trapezium and we want the area. So area of
uh,
the trapezium is, so let's write that. Area for the trapezium is
this is
half
this half
A
AB
B
is times the length,
times the height.
the height.
So it's also written as A plus B over 2 is the height. Okay. And how do we determine A and B?
So two parallel sides.
The two parallel sides. That's A and B. So here's the trapezium. The two parallel sides are the sides that have the arrows on them. Sometimes you'll see them put an arrow like this. Or we can determine it by the two sides that meet the height at a right angle. The two sides that are perpendicular to the height. So the height would be 3, the distance between the two parallel sides. The two parallel sides will be the 12 and the 8. So that will be 12 plus 8 over 2 times the height is 3. So how much is that?
So that would be it's cut off.
12 plus 8
So
is
this 20, 20 times 3 is 60
divided by 2.
divided by 2, which is 30 centimeters
Okay.
squared.
All right. But it don't sound like Imani is with us, is she?
Maybe having
Imani,
problems.
what's up, honey?
She's so tired.
I don't think she can, or maybe her mic isn't working or something. Or hopefully she sort that out. All right. Number 36, Dreshan, go ahead.
Number 36. The area of a rectangle is 53.6 centimeters squared. If the length is multiplied by 4, the width is half, the area would then be. So miss, they gave us the area, and this it said the length is multiplied by 4, and the width is half. Miss first you'd have to find the sides of the area, which we did today, that earlier class. So miss you'd have to find so square root.
But how would we find the side in
Miss,
this case?
mm,
But remember, area is length times width. And we just said whatever you do to the length, if you want it to remain the same, you'd have to do the opposite to the width because they are both being multiplied. It's affecting the multiplication. So if you're multiplying the length by 4,
Yes,
and
miss.
then you're dividing the width by 2, you're really multiplying the whole area by 4 and dividing by 2. So in essence, you are multiplying the area by 2 then, because 4 divided by 2
Oh,
is 2. So you're
yes,
really, in effect, doubling the area.
yes, miss.
To multiply it by 4 and then divide it by 2, or half in it, is the same as just multiplying it by 2. So we just need to multiply the 53.6 by 2. So that will give us what?
Miss, that would give us 107.
Correct. So let's test it to see. So if we have a rectangle, for argument's sake, right? And let's say the length is x and the width is y. All right, so the area will be xy. Um, if we multiply the length by 4, it will be 4x, and we divide the width by 2, so that will be half y. So the new area would be what? 4x times half y, which is 2xy. So in effect, we doubled the area. You see that? The area was xy, now it is 2xy. So to multiply the length by 4 and divide the width by 2 is really to multiply the first area by 2. So that's why we just went ahead and multiplied this area by 2. Item 37 refers to the cube below. So we know a cube is a square box and they want the volume. So in a cube, because it is a square box, the length is 10, the width is also 10, the height
Yes,
is also 10, because all sides are the same. It's a square box. So the volume would be length times width times height. So volume of a cube is the length cubed. Length, same length times width times height. But it's just that in the cube, the length, the width, and the height are the same. So we can just say length cubed. 10 times 10. Why is this giving me so much trouble tonight, though? 10 times 10 times 10, and that is 100. And that's cube. 100 centimeters cube. Okay, Dreshan, read item 38, please. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dreshan? I'm not hearing you.
oh, okay. The volume of the cylinder size is so as to
Speak up.
find the
Speak
volume.
up, Dreshan.
So as to find the volume, it's length times width times height. So as
But this is a cylinder. The cylinder
I
doesn't have length and width. It has
oh,
a circular base.
oh. So as then you would yeah, pi. So as you would do, let's see. Um,
So the concept of volume is the area of whatever the base is times the height once it's
speed.
uniform, once it's a uniform figure. So since in the cylinder the base is circular, we would find the area of the base, which is pi r square, area of the circle,
Uh,
right?
Miss.
So the area of the circle is pi times the radius square. Lord help me with this pen.
Ah,
Help me with this pen. That's the area of the circular base. And then we're going to multiply that by the height of the cylinder. Now, if we notice the answers still have pi in there, so they're not expecting us to work out pi. We're going to leave pi in there. So we just need to work out the radius squared. Sorry, I should have put I have area, so I shouldn't put the height yet. I should then put volume is equal to the area of the base. No times the height. And they have pi in the answer. So we really just need to put the 3 for the radius. We need to square that and multiply that by the height. The height is what? 8. So it would be pi going to leave in there, times 3 squared, which 3 squared is 9, times 8. And 9 eighths are 72, right?
Yes,
So it would
miss.
be 72 pi cubic centimeter since it's volume. Okay, read number 39.
Number 39. If it took a speedboat 9 hours to travel a distance of 1,080 kilometers, what was its average speed? I must define the speed, its distance over time.
Okay, so speed is distance over, and the distance is what? 1080
1,080 kilometers.
kilometers.
Yes, miss. I must divided by 9.
Divided by 9 hours. So the speed would be 1080 divided by 9 gives what? 9 into 10, 1, 9 into 18,
120.
2,
120
120 kilometers per hour. Kilometers per hour. And that is C. All right. So number 40, the pie chart shows the preference in drinks of a group of students. 12 students prefer chocolate. Then the total number of students in the group is, all right, so we can see that chocolate and the 120 for milk, 120 degrees, they make up the 180. They're on a straight line halfway across the circle. So that means chocolate represents 60 degrees. And since that is 12 students, 60 degrees out of the full 360. That's what? 1/6. 60 over 360 is 1/6, right? So 1/6 of what would give 12? So it would be, the total would be 12 times 6. which is, man, this mouse and me. Why is my mouse giving me so much trouble tonight? So what we did is we said, okay, we saw that these two are on the straight line. So the two of them together would represent 180 degrees. This is 120 degrees. So this would the chocolate would represent 60 degrees. So 60 out of the full 360 is 1/6. So and that represents 12 students. So we're saying 1/6 of what? 1/6 of which number would give 12? So the number would be 12 times 6, which is 72. Okay. Number 41, read for me, please. Hydration is backstage again. Can you see number 41?
Yes, I got kicked out.
Okay, read for me, please.
Number 41. Median of the numbers 11556777778 is Mr. Median. The page. Mr. Median. You list from the smallest to largest, which they have already done, and you list the number that's in between everything.
So it's 10 numbers, so we're going to have two numbers falling in the middle, which is what?
6 and 7.
All right, so whenever we have two numbers falling in the middle for the median, what do we do?
It's put the number that's between, that would come between both of them, which is
Which
6.5.
is what?
The
Huh?
6.5.
Okay, so we would the numbers
5.
and divide by 2.
Yes, yes.
We would get 6.5. All right, so if they had not been in order, we would have had to put them in order. But they were given in order from least to
Oh,
biggest. So these two fall in the middle with 4 on each side, 4 on each side. So we add the 6 plus 7 and divide by 2, and that gives 6.5. Number 42, if the mean of four numbers, 4, 8, x, and 12 is 10, what is x?
is 10. So,
Speak up.
mean, summers, when they're finding a mean, so it's all the numbers added and it's divided by how much are there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. finding x, median of 4, 8, x, and 12. And 12.
So it's four numbers, and if the mean is 10, the numbers would have added to 10 times 4, which is 40. So that's the first thing we do, get the total of the four numbers. Since the mean is 10 and it's four of them, the total is 4 times 10, 40. And we know three of the numbers. So how would we find the fourth number?
So, Miss, would you do, Miss, would you write Miss 4 plus 8 plus x plus 12 is equal to 40? And Miss, you'd write x and carry over everything. Then Miss, you'd work out what x would be.
Which is what?
Miss, which is minus 12. Miss 16.
Correct. So 4 plus 8 plus x plus 12 gives 16. So we add the 4, 8, and 12, 34, and take it from the 40. We get 16. And how we got the 40 is 4 numbers, and the mean is 10. So we multiply 4 times 10.
Times
The
4.
total is 40.
Yes, miss.
Okay, read number 3, please.
Number 43. The highest weekly wage of our group of employees is $105.40. The range of the wages is $27.50. How much does the lowest paid employee receive? So, miss, the range, miss, is the highest amount of money minus the lowest amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so miss, since it says the range is $27.50, can you just 9,
So they are telling us the range and they want the lowest paid employee.
7, 7, $7. Miss, when you just subtract, miss, when you just do $105.40, miss, minus the $27.50,
Why would you do that?
miss, because the range of it, because miss, they tell us the range, and miss, the highest amount is $105.40. So,
All right. So if they had wanted the range, we would have subtracted the lowest from the highest. But they gave us the range and want the lowest. So we really have to do the same thing. Subtract the range from the highest to get the lowest. So do that and tell me what you get.
yes, miss, I got $77.90.
Okay.
That there, oh, miss B.
So that will be B.
Yes, miss.
All right. Number 44.
Mm.
A bag contains 4 red balls and 5 blue balls. A ball is picked at random from the bag and is found to be red. It is not replaced. What is the probability that the next ball to be taken randomly from the bag will be blue? So a bag contains 4 red balls and 5 blue balls. A ball is picked at random from the bag and it is found to be red, and it is not replaced. What is the probability that the next ball to be taken randomly from the bag will be blue?
Oh, so, miss, it says that, miss, there are 4 red balls and 5 blue balls. And miss, the probability is the chance of it happening. So, miss,
Mm-hmm.
in total, miss, there are 9 balls. Miss, the
Mm-hmm.
blue and red, miss, there are 9 balls in total. And miss, they're asking blue. Yes, miss. And miss, there are 5 blue balls. So, miss, you put 5 over the full 9 balls in total. Which should be B.
But something has affected the total because
And
a ball was picked. A red ball was removed from the bag. So the total is no
wait,
longer 9.
wait. Oh, miss, I put 5. I thought, wait, is it? Oh, yeah. Blue.
You had 9 and you picked a
Oh,
ball
yes,
from
miss.
it. You picked a red ball from it. So how
Yes,
many
miss.
balls, and it was not replaced. It was not put back. How many balls are there now?
Mm, it's not replaced.
Hmm?
Mm,
You had 4 red and 5 blue. That's 9 balls in all. You took
yes,
out a
miss.
red ball. So how many balls are there now?
Oh, So Miss 8.
So the chance of getting a blue ball now would be what?
So 5 over 8.
5 over
Mm,
8. It's no longer 5 over 9 because 1
Yes.
was removed. It's now 5 over 8. For item 45, it refers to the contents of the following table, which shows the results of a survey of 100 households conducted by Form 5 students to determine the number of children in each household. So we have the number of children at home and the frequency as shown in the table. Number 45, the probability that a home visited at random will contain exactly 4 children.
Oh, and
What's the probability that a home visited at random will contain exactly 4 children?
ah, so hmm, or 27 plus frequency. So Miss, in total, I miss there 100. Miss there 100 households, and miss there 4. It's probably that there are 4 children. Miss 4 over the full 100 to turn. Oh, yes, miss. Miss, when you put the 4, miss the 4 children, miss over the full 100.
We have to
Wait,
put the frequency of the 4 children over 100. So how many households have exactly 4 children?
oh, mm, 1. Mm.
Hmm.
Wait, so then, miss 25.
How you got 25?
It's 100. Wait, let me ask the
No,
question again.
look at the table and tell me how many households have exactly 4 children.
Section. Oh, miss 8.
8. Right. So you'd have to put the 8 over the 100.
Miss 8 over 100.
Right. So that would be B.
Then that. Oh, they wrote it out.
Okay. 46. Which of the following mappings from set A to set B is a function? Which of those is a function?
So miss is going to that. Wait. Hmm. Oh, it's 3 and 2.
How
So,
do we know when a mapping shows a function?
so on each of them is
When
connected
each of
to the
what?
other. It's each of the numbers or letters from A is connected to B.
So if each of the elements in set X, in this case set A, maps onto what in set B?
Mm. Um.
Once
mm,
once each of them is going to something over B, does that mean it's a function?
if if each of them is going. Mm,
If each element in set A is going to only one
oh,
element in set B, then it's a function.
It's many to
So
one.
it can
There are
be
many
many
to
to
one
one or
functions.
one to one, but it
It's
can't
one to
be
many.
one to many.
Yes, miss.
So which of those show each element in set A going to only one element
Let's see.
in set B?
A, B, and C are all going to this one. This in B. Miss, that's C.
So it would be C, right?
Yes, miss.
Because here in A we have this element is going to two members. So this is a one to many. Here we have another one to many. The B is going to two and it's also going to one. And indeed the B is going to one and two also. So only in C is each one going to only one. Each
Yes,
one is
miss.
going to only, this is a many to one. For 47, which two graphs below represent a function? So again, we're looking at functions. And for the function, each x value must only map onto one y value. In terms of the graph, we should be able to make a vertical line to anywhere through the graph, and it should only connect one point on the curve or the line. If we are not able to do that, then it's not a function. So if I take a line and draw it straight down here, this cuts two places. So that means the x cuts two places. We have the x going to two y values. Same for there. Straight down, I'm cutting two places. The line cuts two places. If I go here, only one place. Same for this one. Anywhere I cut it, it only touches one point. So 3 and 4, I and IV show functions. These are not functions.
Yeah,
I and I are not functions. Number 48, if h of x is equal to 3x minus 2 over 5, then what's h of negative 6? So we're being asked to substitute negative 6 where we see x in the function. So h of negative 6 would be 3 times negative 6. We put in negative 6 where x is. It's 2 over 5. So that's 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Minus 2 would give negative 20.
divided by this 5.
So that's negative 20 over 5.
It's negative 4.
Which is
It's negative 4.
negative 4. So that's A. A, that's negative 4. Item 49 refers to the following graph. The diagram above shows a graph. If A, B, and C are positive constants, the position of the graph could be, all right, so looking at this parabola, we see that it is, well, the orientation tells us that the x squared coefficient should be positive. But the way that it's oriented, we call that a smile. The x squared coefficient should be positive. If it was oriented this way, it would have been negative. So we can rule out this as a negative x squared coefficient. This one also has a negative x squared coefficient. We can rule out B and D. If this curve had been ax squared plus c, it would be more oriented closer to the origin, closer to the ax squared, and it will be up the number of places that c represents. So if c is 3, to be shifted up along the y-axis, right? This
Yes, miss.
this middle term here takes it away from the origin. Still oriented that way, positive, but away from the origin. So it will be C. Item 50 refers to the following diagram. So we have point P, which is AB, x value being A, y value being B, and point Q, which is CD, x value being C and y value being B. So they're using letters to represent the points. The diagram above shows a line PQ, the gradient of PQ. So remember, gradient is y2. So the gradient, or M, is equal to the second y value minus the first y value over the second x value, the first x value. So in that, we would have D minus B. So D minus B over C minus A. All right, so they're not using those, so maybe they're shifting it, using these as the second and these as the first. So in that case, it would have, because we can do it any direction we want for the gradient, right? So it would be B minus D, B minus D over A minus C. And that would be D. So gradient, whichever one you want to use as the first set or the second set, right? So it's the second y value minus the first y value over the second x value minus the first x value. Number 51, the graph of the inequality in the diagram above is defined by. So what you say for that one, Dration? How would we read that in terms of inequalities? All right, so illustration again. Seem to be having a lot of technical difficulties tonight. Imani has not been able to join us.
Miss, my Wi-Fi is on and off, and my camera isn't turning on. I'm not sure. I can't get it to turn on.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you able to see the screen though? Because you could
Yes,
still talk.
miss. Yes, miss.
All right. So, and we just lost Dration. So based on what you're seeing on the screen, Imani, how would we read that inequality?
Okay, miss. So it would be um. It can read x is greater than. Wait. Okay, x is greater than -2 and less than or equal to +3.
All right. What made you decide on that?
Miss, when it's greater than, it's just when it's just greater than, it's a circle without a filling, and when
Okay.
it's greater than or equal to, it's a circle with filling.
All right. So this is not shaded. The circle is not
Yes,
shaded. That's how we know it's just greater than, and it's heading in the right. That's why we say greater than.
yes,
And this one is shaded, and then it's below that. So This is less than or equal to here, and this is just greater than here. So it would be A, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay. For item 52, referring to the diagram, in the figure above, A, B, and CD are parallel. Which of the following best describes the relation between X and Y? You
A,
cannot take that one,
A,
Imani.
B. Where
Mi-
B
Hey,
gone?
Zane.
B,
What's up, Zane?
B,
Say good night.
B.
What's up, Zane?
Where
All
B
right, go ahead,
gone?
Imani.
B, B,
Okay, miss. So,
D. I like where D
um,
gone?
Two.
miss.
Where D
So,
gone? Where D gone? D, D.
x plus b.
So these are two parallel lines with a trial cutting across.
Yes, miss.
So these lines are, and we have the transversal cutting.
Where
So
D
it creates
gone?
alternate angles, which we also call Z angles. The Z in this case being that, that, and that. That's a Z. And so this angle is equal to this one. So if X and Y are equal, since they're alternate, which of these would be true?
Miss B.
All right, that's B. Okay. Can you read number 53, please?
Okay, miss. The triangle ABC above is right angled at C. ABC equals 40
C,
degrees
C,
and AC equals 20 centimeters. The length of BC in centimeters is
A, B,
uh
C.
no 53. The triangle
So they want
ABC above
BC. Go again.
oh the triangle ABC above is right angled at C. ABC equals 40 degrees and AC equals 20 centimeters. The length of BC in centimeters is
So they want BC. And based on where the angle is, how would we describe BC compared to the angle?
this is the adjacent side of the angle.
Okay, so it's adjacent to the angle, and we know the opposite. We know the opposite, we want the adjacent. So which of the trig ratios is that?
Miss Tangent.
All right, so tan 40 degrees is equal to the opposite, which is 20.
Yes, miss.
Tan 40 is equal to 20 over BC. 20 over BC. So to find BC,
R.
it will be what? 20 over tan.
Yes, miss.
Yes, so BC would be equal to
A, B, C. C,
over the tan of 40.
A,
Yes,
So
miss.
which one is that?
Miss D.
C.
Tan 40. All right, so that is D. Lord, I don't know this thing. I think it's my mouse. I think it's the mouse probably need to
Okay,
change
miss.
it. Number 54. The point A 2 negative 3 is rotated about the origin through an angle of 90 degrees in an anti-clockwise direction. What are the coordinates of the image of A? So this is A right here. This is A. It is at 2 negative 3, right? So if we it's rotated, if we rotate it about the origin, so this is the center of rotation, the origin, 90 degrees would be there, right? 90 degrees roughly, that's 90 degrees. So it would now be somewhere up here or here, somewhere closer to there. So what would it be then? What would be the new coordinates of the point? One,
Miss, +3 to +2.
so to be somewhere there, so it would be a +2 to +3,
Yes, miss.
right? So that would be B.
Yes, miss.
All right. 55, the transformation that maps triangle LMN onto triangle PQR. So from this triangle to this triangle, what is the transformation? We can rule out the rotations because rotation does not affect the size. Rotation doesn't change the size of the object in the image, right? So we can pretty much assume it's an enlargement since this original triangle is smaller than the image. So it's going to be between C and D. C says an enlargement about half, negative half at a scale factor of 2. So they're saying half, negative half would be the center of enlargement, but half, negative half, so half, negative half is here. That's not the center. That's not any midpoint between these two figures. These saying an enlargement about the origin with a scale factor -2. So that's
Yes,
the one I would go with because when the scale factor is negative, the image is going to be on the opposite side of the axis, and it's also going to look upside down, right?
yes, miss.
Right. So this and the scale factor -2, so it's twice the size of this one. So it's twice the size of the object. Its orientation makes it look upside down, and it's on the opposite side of the axis. So it would be an enlargement about the origin with scale factor -2. All right, so we're now at 56. Item 56 refers to the following graph, which shows the point A. What are the coordinates of the image of A under a reflection in the y-axis? Okay, so this is the y-axis. So if we're reflecting this point, how many places away from the y-axis is it to the right?
Miss, 4 places.
So we need to reflect it places over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would now be here, right?
Yes,
Because the y-axis is the mirror line, the line of symmetry. So the new point here then would be -4, +3.
yes,
So that would be D, -4, +3. Item 57 refers to the following graph. In the figure above, the line CD is the image of AB after it could be a reflection in the y-axis.
yes, miss.
It could also be
Do a
a
rotation.
rotation through 90 degrees center O. So both of those could be a possibility for that. object and image. 58, item 58 refers to the following diagram. How many triangles congruent to ADE would be needed to cover the rectangle ABCD? So this is ADE and congruent triangles. So that would be one more. If we draw straight lines down, and we can cut those lines to get two more triangles each that are congruent. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 congruent triangles would fill up the rectangle. And 59, item 59 refers to the following diagram. So we have the hypotenuse is 130 centimeters, PQ is 50, and X is unknown. So in the right angle triangle above, not drawn to scale, angle Q is 90 degrees, PQ is 50 centimeters, PR is 130 centimeters, and RQ is X. What is the tan of angle PRQ? So angle P to R to Q would be this one. So tan would be what? What ratio? What over what?
Miss, opposite over adjacent.
So this will be opposite to the angle. This is adjacent to the angle. So the tan of theta would be 50. 50 is opposite, and X would be adjacent. So that's A. And the last question, almost right on time. Item 60 refers to the following diagram. So in the figure above, ABC is a triangle in which AD is equal to BD, which is equal to CD. All right, so now they want angle ABC. ABC, that's angle ABC is this, right? All of that. All right, so let's do it by deduction. So since these are equal, so we're going to be dealing with some equal angles along the way, right?
Yes, miss.
So this is 50. Am I seeing right? Is that 50? So if this is 50, so that part of it is 50, which means in this triangle here, 50 and 50, that's 100. So this is 80,
So that is
right?
80. Yes, miss.
All right. And if this is 80 and these two are on a straight line, then this is 100.
100. Yes, miss.
And if these two angles are equal, since it's isosceles, so that means this is 100, so this will be 40,
That is 40 and the other is 40.
and the other one would be 40. So that big angle now, this here now, would be the 40
Would be
plus the 50,
plus the 50. Yes, miss.
which is 90, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So there we have it. There we have it. We're almost exactly on the hour, and we've done all 60 questions with some glitches. There were some along the way tonight. Several times I lost my studio crew several times. Um, all in all, we made it through. Rishon, are you back? I don't even know if my studio crew is with me. All right. So we're at the end. I want to thank you, Imani, Andre, Sean, and Zane for keeping me.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you, Zane, for keeping me company in the studio. For those in the chat, oh my goodness. Thank you for watching more than an hour. Thank you so much. Those in the chat, we're very grateful to you for staying, and we always welcome you to drop your comments, drop your questions, and let us rap. Let us talk about it. Let us sharpen each other. My uncle always say, "Iron sharpeneth iron." We sharpen each other. All right. So until tomorrow, when we have our next live CSEC class. Tomorrow will be the paper 2 class, and that will be at 6 o'clock tomorrow, Jamaica time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going to play for you the schedule so you can see when the classes are and write down the time so you don't miss a thing. All right, so I'm going to do that right now. And thank you again, scholars. I
Thank
know you
you.
have your tests tomorrow. Go and get some sleep, and I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, miss.
I will see you later today, rather.
Well, yeah, later.
Later today. Hello, CSEC math friends. I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now, another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. In this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all this in CSEC. We're going to look at common errors, demystify everything. Make sure you watch every video series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello, scholars. Did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one zero or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you